HGUC Jesta. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Robert 184, 2 R's, 2 B's from gundam.tk. And every once in a while I like to break out of the mold and try something a little bit different from what I usually buy. And in this case we're talking about the high-grade Universal Century RGM 96X Jesta from the anime Gundam Unicorn. This kit went on sale in September of 2011 and it sells for 1,600 yen. This is number 130 in the long-running high-grade Universal Century, and there's the name in English and Japanese. In universe, the Jesta carries on a long tradition going back to the 1-year war with the original Jims who were cannon fodder for Char and a whole bunch of Zaku's domes and goofs. But anyway, this is based on the Jegan, which was in Char's counterattack and has a lot of variations. Unicorn, of course, takes place after Char's counterattack. But the reason why I was tempted to buy this, besides just the fact that the Unicorn kits all look really good, very well detailed and militaristic, and I just wanted to try something a little bit different, was this really reminds me of the Gustav Karl, and I'm probably mispronouncing that, but that is the Earth Federation grunt suit from Hathaway's Flash, which takes place in Universal Century year 105. And the Gustav Karl, like the Kusui Gundam and the Penelope, is just a monster, but I see a lot of similarities, especially in the head, and so hopefully we'll get UC kits of those one day, but in the meantime, this seems like a good start. Looking around the box, I think you'll see some similarities also to the ground Gundam, well, at least just in the way that it seems to be somewhat realistic here. Not a lot of color variations, mostly gray and a dark blue. Looks like it's got a clear part for the visor there, beam rifle and the shield. The shield actually looks like it has an interesting mount mechanism onto the backpack. Then you're going to have some story about it. They talk about the Unicorn Gundam being developed and then how this is based on the Jesta. And in terms of the stats, I always like it when they put these on the box. It's good to see, and especially good to see the logo there. This is pretty big, 19.3 meters, 25 tons. Let me tell you, that weighs a lot more than the Nobel Gundam. To the other side, where you'll see that then one of the selling points is the marking seals. You're going to get the seals for the Tri-Stars, which is the pilots, and you'll notice that there was 3 on the cover, and I think it's a pretty sharp cover too. You're going to get a whole bunch of ESFS and Anaheim electronics there. Basically, they're saying that you can enjoy putting on different variations. The action poses here show that a lot of things can be recreated. You've got some pretty cool poses there with the help of an action base there. The shoulders look like they pop forward, which is always good to see, especially on high-grade Universal Century kits. The knees, hopefully they have 2 points of articulation there, and a good waist that's going to have the pivot points back and forth. 7 different manipulators or hand parts there. The camera eye is going to be, well, hopefully that's a clear part. And we have hand grenades. If they're separate, that's going to be a bonus. You've got the beam rifle, and I really like the way that shield just goes on there. And other little details that you'll see, like the fact that they've actually got some color and some variations down on the bottom. It looks like you have 2 different shield parts for the backpack attachments, and you can choose between them. I'm going to have to see what the advantages of both of these are. There's the arm units there, and the beam rifle, I have to say, looks a little bit disappointing. Beam saber, nothing too fancy. But what is the Jester? Well, they're going to go on to talk about that and how it's come to life in 3D. This is a pretty cool scene where you've got the Unicorn Gundam. It's being supported by the Tri-Stars here, and they look very good, even though the picture's a little bit small, even without any painting by a pro. Cracking the box open, you're going to get an A-plate with seals. You do get an orange eyepiece. You're going to get some gray and some dark blue. Beam sabers, polycaps, gray for the hands and manipulators, gray for the beam rifles and inner frame, and again some dark looking gray and blue. Not a lot of color in this box, let me tell you. For the A-plate, you may be able to make out that it's only got 3 colors on there. You have some lighter blue, gray on the right, and then you've got the dark blue on the left. It's good to see that you only get the 1 part though, sort of disappointing that they don't give you a second one for the sight. But just to show you a comparison, when you put the gray on there, you can see that this thing is only going to have 3 colors, but there's not a lot of variation between them. Here's the B1 plate, which is a 1.5 with the B2. You've got the unique parts here for the shoulder, the arms to mount the shield on there, the waist armor, but otherwise you're going to have all the parts you need. The bottom of the feet actually, yes, they do have lines on there, but they're not actually going to have any color variation, slightly disappointing. But there's the mount for the grenade, so hopefully that works out a lot better. It's good to see that all the plates here are unique. None of them were reused from the Jegan or anything like that. The C1 and C2 are 1.5 plates. My foot part here is being pushed out. The waist part there, you've got all your manipulators. And the beam rifle, it looks like it's got a lot of lines and details on it, but it really does look less than exciting just due to its lack of color. This plate here isn't a D plate, it's a high-grade MPE, so manipulators 1E. You've got all the parts that you're going to need for various things. I haven't been building a lot of high-grade Universal Century kits from Unicorn, so I wonder if we've been seeing those before. You're also going to be getting a plate of gray polycaps. The beam sabers come on plate SB6 and they have a light pink color which contrasts with the Nobel Gundam Berserker mode, which is identical except for the fact that it's just darker pink. I thought they looked a little bit small on Allenby and the Nobel. So for this one, the fact that you've actually got this on a 19-meter mobile suit, they may come across as a little bit small. For the stickers, only 5 of them there. Going back to the original high-grade Universal Century RX-78-2, I'm always disappointed when the waist section on UC and Federation suits that you have to put a sticker on or paint them. It's disappointing that they don't actually just put a yellow piece in there. They could have cheaped out because the A plate could have had a couple yellow or orange pieces on there for the 4th color, but they didn't choose to do it. But on the other hand, I am pleased to see that they did go with these so that the sights and everything on the beam rifle, you're going to have a little bit of colors, and that should match its beautiful eyes. Here are the marking seals, which are a selling point apparently. You're going to have Anaheim Electronics, some Earth Force Federation Londo Bell stuff on there. You're going to get the decals up there for all the numbers if you want to put them on 08MS team style. The only thing I'm a little bit disappointed that these are marking seals instead of dry transfers. If they were dry transfers, I'd be a lot more tempted to actually put some of them on. Got a little bit of a timeline here for the series lineup. You've got the RX-0 Unicorn in Unicorn mode and Destroy mode. Those are of course sold separately, 100 and 101 in the HGUC. 104 was the Stark Jagan, and that's the Jagan D type. And then we've got number 123, which is a Jagan, but this is an Echoes type. And I have to say that I can see some of the similarities between the Jester and this, but I don't quite see how these built on each other, especially the Echoes one. Every once in a while just strikes me as being a little bit out of place. For a minute I thought I was looking at the Soul Braves here, but instead you've got the actual TriStars. It names the people in the group. You've got Nigel, Garrett, he seems to be the leader of them, and then you've got a couple other people. The fact that 3 of them are working together just makes me excited. I really like their mark with the actual stars on there. I wonder if they've met some domes in the past. But in terms of bonuses, it's sort of cool to see that you can take the Stark Jagan backpack and that it is interchangeable with this. I wish that Bandai did that with more of their models. Even if it's not within the same universe, that they should be able to swap them. By settling on some sort of a mount mechanism, it would be nice that you could just swap, let's say Destiny's Wings with Freedom on whatever kit if you buy them in the same grade. But that's an aside. You can also put on the Jagan Echoes type backpack if you wanted to have a brownie, gray, green type of one on there as well. Inside you can see the plates. You only use one of the beam sabers. You don't use all the parts for the manipulators. Most of the parts are only 40 yen if you're missing them. Put the chest together, put the head, the arms, the legs, build it all together, put the weapons in hand. Doesn't look too complicated here. The shield, it is somewhat disappointing to see that these parts with these missiles on there, that they show nice color variations on the box. They are just going to be one color, so you're going to have to paint those yourself, which would be a little bit tricky to tape off perhaps. And down there it's showing that you can choose as to which backpack attachment you want to put on to put the shield on. And of course, Action Base 2, sold separately, can work for this as well. The grenades are going to be a different color from the waist mount there, but again, they are attached together. Just the kind of thing that you expect for high-grade Universal Century, but just with the steps that they've taken lately, it would be nice to see things like this and this not happen. On the back, it's a little bit more useful than usual just because it's showing you where to put the marks on the shield, on the body, and on the back. You've got a nice rear view there. Really cool pose, but this is what I'm talking about, where you've just got a solid color there, unless you're actually going to go paint those properly. The swing mechanism for the shoulders look great, as does the fact that he can grab the beam saber from the rack in his forearm. They're showing off that it's got some foot detail. Again, you have to paint those, so pretty much if you want to paint this, you can make this awesome, but I'm a little worried about it right out of the box. So that's my look at unboxing the Jesta, and so far I have to say that outside of the lack of color, which you pretty much knew going in, outside of the things that maybe the waist could have had an orange piece in there, I'm pretty happy with what I see. The 1.5 plates really are the way that Bandai's doing a good job of this. You're getting 5 plates in effect, but they only have to design 3 of them. And so pretty much, the real reason why I'm happy to see this is just, it goes back to my first Gundam anime, which was the 08MS team. Seeing things like this, putting different numbers on them, having them fight together to save Banagher and the Unicorn, all that does is just make me anticipate episode 4 of Gundam UC all the more. So anyway, everybody who's been enjoying things like the Jagan and all of the UC kits, why don't you let me know what you think of this compared to some of those ones, and whether you're excited about this one in general. Don't forget to stay tuned for the whole review to see the parts, and it all put together. Anyway, everybody, Robert184, thanks as always for watching. See you next time.